I'm Chad Backus, and today I'm going to be talking about why marijuana should remain illegal. This topic has been debated for over 20 years, and according to New York Times, 36% of high school students in both public and private schools have used marijuana over the past year. Despite the fact that many people want marijuana legalized, it can have some serious negative side effects that should be taken into consideration, such as delayed cognitive functions. It's a gateway drug, and it affects the limbic system. Now, it affects cognitive functions as far as memory, concentration, and coordination. This happens when a chemical found in the drug, known as THC, binds to the neurons of the parts of the brain that affect this memory, coordination, and concentration. The memory is affected both long-term and short-term. Short-term, for example, would be, say a person used the drug and then the next day they don't remember every little detail of what happened that day. And long-term is when used in large amounts and for long periods of time. This can be dangerous when driving because of the concentration, the effects on the concentration. So let's say someone was driving under the influence and they get in a wreck. The officer wouldn't be able to test the person on the spot like they would with alcohol using a breathalyzer. Marijuana is also considered a gateway drug. This means that most people who use this drug go on to use harder drugs such as cocaine, etc. Depending on the person's personality, it can also be psychologically addictive because of the pleasurable feeling that it gives to the users. And this can be a problem because people are going to just be constantly using the drug and not trying to be motivated to do anything in life. It will also affect drug dealers. They will end up selling harder drugs if it's illegal because they won't be able to make money selling marijuana. Lastly, marijuana affects the limbic system. Now, the limbic system controls emotion and motivation. And this is because that chemical known as THC binds to some of the receptors in the limbic system, causing a release of the neurotransmitter dopamine. Now, dopamine is given off when someone achieves something successful or accomplishes a goal. So if the dopamine neurotransmitter is released, then the people who are using it will have a hard time striving to be successful because they're getting that same feeling that they would from being successful from taking the drug. The limbic system is also involves emotions. So if someone stops using the drug, they end up becoming depressed because that dopamine, that neurotransmitter, isn't being run throughout the brain constantly like it was when the person was using this drug. Some long-term use has been shown to be linked with lung cancer because of some of the carcinogens found in the marijuana. I got one question is for you just to think about. Is marijuana for people's pleasure really worth the negative impact on society? I hope this speech has really helped you to decide that it's not worth it to be legalized. Thank you for listening.